Hello. Welcome, everybody. It is another episode of the Brisco and Big Ace show. My name is Big Ace, and with me, as always, Wes Brisco. What's up, buddy?
What up, man? Sean, oh, I got to show you this. Freshly caught out of the back leg.
Oh, look at that. Got the hardware. That is pretty.
The alligator skin.
Yeah, buddy. Nice.
Jumped on this one.
The Atomic Legacy Wrestling Champion.
Yeah, he just had a incredible match with Rick Swan.
Oh shoot! How'd it go? Let me hear.
Really well. Probably one of my favorite matches ever. It was just such a great time, and then it was such a great time to be out there and wrestle someone that is just incredible, and too someone that's a good friend of mine, and it was babyface, so no one can get mad saying I'm talking about my opponent or whatever. But it was super fun just because we were able to go out there and just have a blast and just go out there and tell a story and have a good time. And we had a blast. And funny thing is, we kind of called most of it in the ring. And during the stuff that we didn't call in the ring, we would try to one up each other on stuff. Like I took a floor bump, and then he decided, "Oh, you're not gonna one up me with a floor bump. You give me a floor bump." And I'm like, "What? Are you sure?" He's just like, "Stop trying to one up me."
That's great.
So we were just we were flowing really well, and it was a really really fun match and a great time. So, and I ended up getting the win. He ended up missing the 450, and I was able to capitalize with the Brisco bomb and take him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's because he's smart.
Yeah,
Brisco knows and retains that Atomic Legacy Wrestling Championship. That's awesome. Rich Swann, an amazing talent. We all got to see him do some cool things in WWE. Huge star in the indie scene before that. Been all over.
Yeah, he's Impact now, right?
Yep. Impact now and just kicking butt. Plus, one of those guys that is just super athletic in the ring, right?
Yeah, it's super fun to be around too. Just like all around good person.
Yeah, man. So you got the big win, you got the title. That's awesome. What's next with that Atomic Legacy Wrestling Championship?
We got a big show coming up at the end of May, and it's in Orlando, Florida, my hometown. So I'm super excited about that one. And then next week is Canada. So that's going to be a really fun one. Looking forward to that one. We had, we were promoting that on the last show. And, I'm excited for next week having a guest, OG Mooch, coming on. That's going to be a good one. And then we also got JBL scheduled. And we got a lot of things coming up. So just looking forward to all the things and guests that we get to talk to and have fun with.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited. We told you guys when we came back, we had a lot of big things planned because we've been talking for about a year of what we were going to do when we came back. Because that was always kind of never a question. Like it was just when eventually. So I'm excited to see how this all goes. And it's going to be a little bit of a different perspective now because, you're doing your thing, which is awesome. But like, I actually have to work shows now as a ring announcer, which is new from before when we were doing this, where I was just always the guy being like, "So how was the show? How was the show?" I did nothing this weekend. I was home, lazy, played golf. So now you get to hear me complain about having to drive to town. I have a real big love-hate relationship with Iowa West, and you've been to Iowa. You know everything about Iowa. There's some great things in Iowa, but there's also some not great things in Iowa. And I feel like I live there now.
Feel like it's your second home? Are you staying in the same hotel?
No, because I have to bounce between like 4 or 5 different towns in Iowa. But yes, for some of them, yeah. So like this next Saturday night, we'll be down in Knoxville, Iowa, for Madhouse Wrestling, their first show of 2023. Of course, one of the owners and one half of the Madhouse Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Malice. That's his company, so I'll be down there, and yeah, he'll book me in the same hotel.
That'll be cool. That'll be
Yes,
cool. You gotta make friends with everyone and be like, we're coming back.
I know, right? I never said anything bad about Iowa. I love Iowa. It's my favorite.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. All right. I was telling you this before. A little bit of wrestling news broke, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. AEW has announced they have another show coming out. I think it's Saturday nights on TBS. I could be wrong. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Uh, and you know about this whole feud that happened, the fight backstage with Punk and the Elite, and all that stuff. Have not seen Punk since then, which was, I think, all out last year. So 4 months shy of a year.
Mhm.
Uh, well, now it seems to be that talks of him coming back is really, really, really picked up. And now with this new show on Saturday, and they have a couple shows in Chicago coming up, and all signs are pointing to he's going to come back soon. And this new Saturday night show will kind of be like his show, like, and people who are willing to, because that's the thing. Ever since this fight backstage, there's obvious people who are still willing to work with him, but there's also people who are now not willing to work with him.
Mhm.
So it almost feels like there's this show they're gonna have just so Punk and the people who are willing to work with him can go. And like you probably won't see Omega ever on it or the Bucks on it, and they'll stay on their Dynamite or whatever. It just seems so, and I get it, guys, right? You can't just spring a new TV show up like this. This has been in talks for a while of a third show being added
Yeah.
for the Punk drama. So it's not like they are solely for that, but it's very much coming off like they are doing this whole you can only go there, you can only go there. We better not see you two cross paths. But for real.
Wow. That's crazy. That would not happen in WWE.
No, they would tell them to fucking shut up and work.
Yeah.
as
They, they'd
as
be
a
like,
business owner.
excuse me, you have, yeah, you have to get along with everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You got to get along with everybody. You're out of there.
I mean, it just seems insane that like that's where they're at. Like, and it's gonna be a
It's
big
just going to get worse because now it's showing that if you have enough power, you can just say, "Give me my own show." So how many more wrestlers are going to get their own show? Because they have some other big names, so they could, that they could always be like, well, Punk did it, I'll do it.
right. Well, now my other question with this, and this is aside from Punk and that, but like just the third TV show added. So you've now got AW Dark Elevation, you have AW Dark, you have AW Dynamite, we have AW Rampage, and now we're gonna have this fifth AW show. Now, granted, three of them are on network TV, the other two are YouTube shows, but you are putting 5 days worth of your product out there for people to watch. How
Well,
in danger are they, especially being 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, wherever they are in that 2 to 4 year old range as a business? How in danger are they of maybe oversaturating their own market a bit? That is a very true thing. Too much can drive people away.
yeah, I mean, he has the money, so it doesn't really matter. Um, I don't know, man. That's a lot of TV. I mean, I don't know when you're gonna have time to even film that. How much more money you're gonna spend on, like, is it gonna be like complete, like, on another city, another town, another everything? So that's more expenses. I mean, I don't know what these TV deals are and how. I mean, I guess he's getting pretty good TV deals. I mean, I guess if I mean, when that people are paying for it, might as well give it to him.
I mean, yeah, I get you're right. That's true. I knew some bands back in my hometown, right, that used to play like the same places like every like once a month or like once every 2 months, but enough that but then they would go play another bar in the same town. And they would play, and it got to the point where it's like, well, no one wants to go see these bands anymore because they play everywhere in this town every weekend, and I've seen them 10 times. I don't want to see them anymore. And I get it. Wrestling's different because it can definitely be a different match, different story every time you go. But man, and also it's weird that none of this is going by the ROH name because you have all of that too. You got all of ROH is.
Yeah, who knows? They might not even use that name just because Tony Khan wants to. Well, I mean, they do use it. They isn't Samoa Joe the ROH
Yeah.
champion or
Oh,
TV champion?
it's very much a promotion. Still, it's its own
It
promotion with
doesn't
its.
have it doesn't have its own TV.
No, not yet. I think he was. I think they're trying to get
So
TV.
they're gonna have 6 shows on TV. Yeah. Holy shit!
That is a lot. That's a lot.
Damn, that's like the whole. Wow, that's something like you said that might be overkill.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot. I have a hard enough time right now, Wes, and I know that you kind of stay away from the product except for when you're at shows. Uh, I really when I first met you, I would watch everything religiously from start to end, live. I would never miss a Raw. I would never miss a SmackDown. I watch highlights now, usually the next day, because there's just so much, dude. There's so much
No,
between
it's hard.
AEW, WWE, ROH, Impact, NWA, New Japan.
Yeah, I like the stuff they're doing with Riddle. Um, yeah, I haven't really seen too much other than some stuff from Riddle, and that's about it.
And I'm surprised they brought Riddle back, to be real honest. He was out of rehab for quite a while before they brought him back, and his whole fiascos with the adult entertainers that he was
What
doing.
happened? I didn't hear none of this.
Oh, really?
No,
You knew he went to rehab, right?
no.
Oh, yeah.
For what?
There's a lot of catch. Not marijuana. That's all we know.
Okay.
Um, so he was married, got divorced. There's been a lot of, there's been a few people who have come out to and alleged him for sexual assault. We won't get into
What?
that though. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and this is actually funny because I somehow have ties to this story. So he started dating, and like all these stories were coming about how he's like a fucking freak, uh, with these girls that were coming out. So he started kind of dating an adult entertainer who's actually from Minnesota, from the Twin Cities area. It's been a guest on my other show, a friend of our show, uh, and those two were dating for a while, and then like he failed his drug test, got sent to rehab during this time, started dating a different porn star, but didn't tell the other one, and then that became a thing. And then while this is happening, a couple more girls I think came out about how like mentally and sexually he would like fuck with them, uh, and all this shit. So the fact that he came back after WrestleMania was a shock. Because even if none of that happened and he was just dating a porn star, that almost seems enough these days for WWE to be like, no, 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 no. We have kids who watch this show. They do not need to know that you're dating a porn star. You know what I mean?
Yeah, aren't they all on one of the shows that's owned by Disney?
Riddle?
Yeah.
No. NBC and Fox.
Fox is owned by ESPN, right?
No. ESPN's owned by Disney.
Okay, that's what I thought. For some reason, I thought. I mean, WWE
But
does a lot with ESPN.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, but ESPN does have ties with WWE and actually covers, like they covered Mania. Um, and I do wonder how much of that helped with Coach Jonathan Coachman, because when he left WWE, he went to ESPN.
Yeah.
And he actually did bridge a big gap for those two and like brought them together, and that's when he came back for a very short amount of time as commentary. I don't know if he would do that now. He has said some stuff about the last run, like how he just probably won't ever see him back in WWE unless the
Mm,
price is right. But so that was the whole fiasco with Riddle. And again, kind of having a friend that was one of the main things in this. I kind of don't like the guy now. He
yeah,
kind of
that sucks. I
seems,
kind of don't like if that's all true. I don't like the guy either. Man, that's
yeah, yeah. So
that's a shame.
yeah. But anyways, moving on from that though, the other sad part though, and it isn't really Riddle, but his old tag partner, Randy Orton. Talk is he's nowhere near being cleared to come back, and he's been out, I think, a year now, over a
I
year
know
now.
it's been yeah. Wonder what did he hurt? His shoulder again?
I don't know if it was his shoulder or like collarbone or what it was. Uh, but that seems pretty like him and Big E have had injuries that like they're out for so long it's getting to the point of like, well, is there a return in their future or are they just done?
Hmm.
And Big E being a neck injury.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy being out that long.
I mean,
So
anything
wonder if they're cleared and they just don't have anything written for him yet.
and that could be a definite thing too, because that's happening right now. Like Alexa Bliss, I think, is cleared and ready to go. She had a little bout with skin cancer, had to go do that. She was doing the Masked Singer thing too, but she was at Mania at the stadium, willing to be used, and they didn't do anything with her. And right now, it sounds like she's not being mentioned in creative right now,
Hmm.
which it's like, ugh, she's such a talent. And
Yeah,
then you
she's like
got
a good wrestler too.
what's that?
She's a really good, like such a good like wrestler, storyteller. Like they need to be using
Oh, she's amazing. She's one of my favorites. One of my top favorites, just period and female. I like that she's so small and could do all that because that's not
her. Yeah.
something you see a lot. But then it also makes you wonder, dude. Like the whole Bray Wyatt stuff. He's
Hmm.
out for this undisclosed physical issue. I mean, at this point, he's been out so long, and they just scrapped everything right before Mania. It's like, I think there's more to that story too.
Yeah, we got to hear about that one. Huh?
He's
We got.
been a
I
he's
got to
got
talk to sources and try to figure out what really happened.
Yeah, because about a month, 3-4 weeks before Mania, he was doing a program with Lashley going into Mania. They were supposed to have a match.
Yeah. Hmm.
Just all of a sudden, there was no more mention of him.
Because who was before Lashley? It was someone else supposed to be before Lashley.
Brock was supposed to, and he said
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So then Lashley was going to do it, and yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, like 3 weeks before Mania, they stopped mentioning it, and all of a sudden got to Mania, and it was Bobby Lashley's not on the card anymore. He did he did the SmackDown thing, won the Andre Giant Battle Royal, came out at
Yep.
Mania, but that was it.
Wow.
And now there's just zero mention of Bray Wyatt and all the shit they were building. The Uncle Howdy, which everybody is pretty sure that was Bo Dallas, the crossovers that were happening with Alexa Bliss, like yeah,
Huh.
super freaking weird. And I want to say a picture surfaced during Mania weekend that showed him with a fan, and he didn't look hurt, that's for sure. And they were like, "Yeah, I don't know, he seemed fine." Maybe it wasn't from Mania weekend, maybe it was just old and I saw it then, but I don't know. It's some weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard Mania was pretty hectic.
I could only imagine. I can only imagine what the night at the Mania, the Raw after Mania was like when everybody saw Vince officially take the seat back in the gorilla position. Oh man, the rumors were that place was like going crazy. Like everybody was just like so. They said morale instantly dropped in the locker room that night. It's
Yeah,
pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how much of the talent like doesn't want Vince doing creative because he just fucks everything up. Sorry, there's my one. Uh, it's pretty
wow.
insane, dude. It's pretty
Huh.
insane, but they do have We're recording this on a Monday night, so on Raw tonight, Bad Bunny, baby. Getting ready for that backlash in Puerto Rico. You're like second home.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge, dude.
I
I'm sure it's already sold out.
I kind of wish I could go to it. That'd be a dope trip.
I don't even think you could buy tickets. I think it's probably already sold out.
Yeah, and Bad Bunny's going to be there, and
That's
probably
what I'm saying.
and Russell.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way in hell like that's not already sold out because his shows alone sell out instantly.
Yep.
He sells out stadiums. 100,000 people by himself.
That's insane, man. That would be a fun pay-per-view to go to. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
The boys are gonna have fun there.
yeah, that's a nice little work trip right there, going to Puerto Rico.
Where are they before that?
I don't know, but they come back home, and I think SummerSlam's in like Detroit.
Oh.
Which is in August, which will be, I think, the next big pay-per-view after.
Oh, well, that's nice weather in Detroit.
Yeah.
Good old Michigan.
They are doing the draft starting.
I saw that
this Friday. I don't think it's tonight.
That's pretty cool. I always, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when it was more like when it first started. It was kind of like almost random, kind of.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it would just go and then
yeah.
Where you go, and it'd be like, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. I guess it's just the thrill of seeing like people get maybe split up, because a lot of times back when there were super creative, they would split up tag teams and put them with different people and do other things and make it really creative. You know what I mean? And I don't. Who knows? Maybe that's where they're trying to go again. But I always enjoyed it. It always, used to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, I had heard that one of the things with the draft this time around is this is going to be the kickoff to Hunter as head of creative. That this is part of why they're doing it, so he can get pieces in place for what he apparently is thinking of doing. Now, who knows? That could be wrong too, because you never know. But could also be really interesting.
I thought Vince was head of creative.
Apparently not. He did that Raw, and everybody got pissed off, and now apparently he's not going to the shows anymore. He's busy, man. He's busy getting ready for that, making that sale official and going into. Well, I guess he won't be retirement. He'll still be their CEO or president or whatever, or head of the board.
Oh, he'll probably show up there even more.
Yeah, probably. Well, and they got their fancy new headquarters out in Stamford.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy stuff out there. So
yeah, it's like, why would you need a building if you just sold it? Wonder if did they keep the old building?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. Well, so the thing too, though, is the pandemic paused the building. Like they were mid.
Oh, they were gonna do that a while before. Okay.
Yeah, so this would have been a few years old by now if it would have been done on time.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking they have so much artifacts and like old school stuff. I was just wondering what they did with all that, because they have vaults of like.
Oh, so have you had a chance to go through any of those warehouses or vaults ever?
Yeah.
What's some of the favorite things you've seen in there? Because I've seen videos of the warehouse tours, and I mean, it just looks amazing, all the history in there.
Yeah, it's insane. Like words don't even have. You can't even put it into perspective. It's really dope.
That's awesome. I wish they had
just what you would think a billionaire's office should look like. Really, really cool.
That's awesome.
A billionaire that owned a TV show. So,
that's
crazy. You guys just think of all the years of like crazy events and cool stuff that happened, and stuff that they had to maybe edit out and that's secretly in the vault. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff that's locked up in there that's, who knows? They have all the tapes from all, all the territories, everything. They have so much, you know, so much stuff. It's insane. And wonder if Vince sold all the rights to that. I guess if you bought the company, you bought all those artifacts.
Yeah, you've had to get all of it, right?
Yeah, wonder if Vince secretly pulled some artifacts out and was like,
I bet he did, dude. I bet he did. Let me ask you this, because you being someone who, as a kid, was in the locker room, growing up as a younger teen, and all that, you've had those days where you were back at those shows, back in the locker rooms around the talent there. Is there something you have that was given to you by like an old timer, legend, Hall of Famer, that you still have today that would be considered something cool if they found in like that warehouse?
of course. I mean, I got the chair that Lawrence Taylor hit Bam Bam Bigelow with at SummerSlam. I think I got all kinds of stuff. Like I think I autographed Big Show boots, autographed Hogan boots, all kinds. My dad has all kinds of stuff. All kinds. My dad still has all the records and
Oh,
bookkeeping, and when he was the booker, he has all the matches that he put together, and like all the cards that he did. He has all that, all the times written now, who was going over, what storylines they were in. He has all that stuff.
that's nuts. That is insane. And that chair is pretty sweet. That Lawrence Taylor chair. Do you
Yeah,
have
he has tons and tons of stuff.
do you have anything from your dad and uncle from when they were like any of their old gear or anything?
No, no. My uncle threw all of his stuff over the bridge. Yeah, it's in his book.
It's crazy. Um all right. That's insane. I'd love to see that. Uh we were also talking about AEW and all their TV shows they're doing. What about two pay-per-view weekends in a row? How crazy does that sound?
That's crazy. I mean, they got the enough talent for it, so
And one of them is overseas.
yeah. So maybe half the talent goes there, half the talent goes to the other one. So it's different.
Yeah, it really is. So like we're talking about AEW and how they have announced all in at Wembley Stadium, London, England. I think it's what 80, 90,000 people can fit in that place. And I think I heard they had like a 45, 50,000 people. Point at the aces and eights.
That's where I pulled off the mask and turned on Kurt Angle.
What, London?
Mm-hmm. Wembley
Uh,
Stadium.
and how crazy was that for you?
That was insane. It was just insane being in that stadium. Period. That stadium has so much history, so much. Uh, what's the word? Nostalgium or
Nostalgia.
Well, yes, it's just. I mean, you can just feel like all the crazy championships and all the crazy just concerts and legendary people that have performed at that stadium is just insane. And to be able to not only perform at that stadium, have a storyline going, and actually like get some oohs and like that was pretty cool. Like it was really amazing to be able to have that experience there than anywhere else because it was I mean just so many people got to see that. And I
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
why it was on live TV. So
What would you say your favorite thing is about like the UK crowd? Because we were talking before about how fan bases are different uh from like America and the UK. Like it's a different vibe
it's
over there.
it's different from the Caribbean to Japan to Europe. I've wrestled all three, and even Canada.
Hmm.
Canada's totally different. Um, they love wrestling. They absolutely love wrestling with a passion, and some some are more wanting to watch technique. Some are want to watch more athleticism, some want to watch more storytelling. It all depends on the crowd you're at, what what people like to do.
Nice. Yeah, dude. It's always fun watching shows that are over there overseas, just to see the different reaction. Like you said, I remember watching my first stuff from like Japan and how the crowd's actually like quiet and like if it's something good there. You know what I mean? That was such a huge difference compared to what I grew up as, yelling as loud as you can, and if you're the heel, be like, "You suck! I'll beat you up."
Well, back when my dad was there, they didn't even clap. My dad was silent the whole time.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Then you go to London and they sing to you during the match. It's
yeah. Every country is different that you wrestle at. South Africa is different. Like and you have to learn how to adapt and learn how to know how to wrestle every different style, so you're able to get over. And that's the whole thing, is being able to adapt and being able to change your style and be able to wrestle and be able to handle the crowd.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Because I've wrestled stadiums in the Bahamas where no one knew who I was, but by the time the match was over with, they were screaming my name, and was phenomenal. And these people had no clue who I was. But we sold out a show in the Bahamas. That was for, I believe, Ring Warriors, and yeah, it went really well. I mean, it was crazy. It was really, 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 really fun. And but we just did different style of wrestling. It was a little bit more high pace, cross bodies off the top, just a little bit more athleticism. It was a really good show. Like I love those like towns and places I go into that really never seen me or know who I was, especially other countries. When you can go over there to another country and get them rocking and rolling, that's always like a super good thing. Like it just knows that you got it.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about live entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, I there's always someone, right? I had a conversation with somebody who's like, "Well, it's hard because it's they're just it's wrestling. We all
Hmm.
know what it's all about, and it's like, yeah, but like UFC's UFC. They're just hitting each other, and it could be good or it could be boring. Like if you really get invested in a wrestling match, like these guys are selling you on more than just what the moves are as brass tacks in the ring. You know what I mean?
Well, back in our day when we learned and watched it, the stories and the lines lasted for like 6 months. It
Oh my
wasn't.
god!
It wasn't just like
All right,
when I'm thinking, man, it was actually they put 6 months of time of like
yeah, dude.
that's what the big WrestleMania was all about, was the big payoff, the big like from all these storylines, all these feuds, and this is the night that all that ends. And Monday we go scratch. Well, they already back in the day. My dad said by the time they were up to Mania, they were already 6 months ahead on TV,
Oh
like
yeah,
pre-planning. Like when my dad, Bruce, Jr., and all those guys, Sargent, Pat Patterson, um, when all those guys were there, my dad was like, we had TV well planned out at least 6 months in advance. And he's like, we knew exactly what was going on, where we want to go. I mean, of course, someone would get hurt, or maybe the storyline was working and he would switch things up. But most of the time, they pretty much stuck with. They were already ahead. They already knew what was going on, because Vince never want to be caught with his pants down. He always want to be ahead of the game. Or already thinking way past the future. That's why my dad hated always flying on his private jet, because if Vince doesn't sleep, no one sleeps.
mm,
So it's like not only did he just get off of work, he's trying to relax on the plane ride home, and it's work, 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 work. Yes, you're on a private jet, but he's like, I'd much rather be sitting coach than working.
Right.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe not. I'm sure they're eating good. Like I'm sure it's like catered the best of the best.
That's funny. That's yeah. I can only imagine what it'd be like for them.
Bruce built a the for some reason I guess Vince's plane wasn't working or something, or he was getting a new one or something, and they rented one, and all the seats were white, and Bruce had a glass of red wine. He ended up spilling it all over the seat.
Oh, jeez. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Oh, brother love.
yeah. And my dad said that like when they would because sometimes Vince would have to every once in a while I don't know how this goes because every once in a while Vince would have to go through the airport because my dad was telling me a story. Well, maybe this was before the plane. So my dad was telling a story about Pat would like so they've been traveling well before 9/11 and all that stuff. So back when there used to be ashtrays on planes. So Patterson's used to just smoke cigarettes. And then I guess this is right when they stopped smoking cigarettes everywhere. But Patterson would light up a cigarette walking through airports. So him and Vince and my dad are walking through the airport. He lights up a cigarette, starts smoking, and they say, "Hey, sir, you can't smoke in here." Da, 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 da. He's says, "Okay, whatever." Throws it on the ground, puts it out with his foot, keeps on walking. 10 feet, lights up another one. They're like, "Hey, sir, we told you to stop." He starts speaking French, Quebec. Starts speaking. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I'm from France. Hey, da, da, da. They're like, "Okay, sir, you can't do that here." And then he goes up to light a third one, and Vince grabs his arm and he goes, "I will fucking leave you here if you light up another cigarette." That's it. Waits till Vince walks by and then lights up the cigarette.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'll find my own way home.
It was a different time back then, man. It was the Wild West back then, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I just couldn't imagine walking through the airport lighting up a cigarette. I don't smoke cigarettes, but if you could,
Dude, that's so weird.
that'd be like me smoking a nice cigar walking through the airport.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Well, and the younger generation right now, Wes, they don't know what it's like to go to a public place or an establishment and be able to smoke in it.
Well,
We
they
grew up,
vape.
yeah, but that's
Back when
different.
we could vape
But
in restaurants.
we grew up where it was like, hey, Red Lobster, smoking or non-smoking. You know what I mean? My first year of bar DJing, I could still smoke in the bar, and I would go through 2 packs a night in the DJ booth because all I was doing was standing there playing music.
Oh, you know how nasty restaurants they would literally after when they did put that ban in effect, they literally had to gut restaurants.
Yep.
It was just the smell and stench of it.
And
Now, so
yellow.
I love it that it's there is no smoking. To be honest with you, I mean, I have no I like everybody. I mean, if you want to smoke, you can smoke. I mean, I like smoking cigars, so I do like to have my occasional cigar. So I don't knock anything, but I don't really like the smell of it. Especially I would never smoke it in my house. I would, it's just certain things that you walk in and you can instantly smell if someone's been smoking. You can you could just instantly tell.
Yep.
It's like when you're walking down the hotel and you smell, oh, whose room's that? I have a pretty strong idea of whose room that might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of us.
Yeah.
But
I haven't had cigarettes in about 4 or 5 years, and I'm at that point now where I'm like, God, I'm so glad you can't just do it anywhere. Because when I am around them now, I'm just like, ugh, it's so gross. It's so gross. Ugh, I was that guy. Was it St. Louis that had the little smoking pods inside at their airport where you go in there? like the glass.
Yeah, I've been to a couple places that still have like outdoor places where you could go smoke, and sometimes I used to just go there just to like if I had a long layover, just to get outside. You know what I mean? Even though like there's a bunch of people smoking cigarettes, sometimes it's just good to just like pop outside just for a second or two, depending on how long you've been traveling. Like maybe you haven't been outside in a while, like 12 hours or 13 hours, and you're like, oh, even though if we were just blowing smoke in my face, I could possibly die. I need some like kind of fresh air, but like
Mhm.
that sucks. That
Right, dude.
like certain airports do have crazy outdoor party lounges. I should do a YouTube thing on that. Okay, now someone's gonna steal my idea, but yes, New York is one of them.
They still have those?
Dude, Delta has their Sky Room is
Oh,
half
yeah, yeah, yeah.
inside and outside. They have a DJ. It's all like
What?
Miami vibe. Like you're like, what is this place? Like, what did I just stumble upon? You're
See,
like,
I
I
don't.
don't want to catch my next flight. And then
Right,
I'm
right.
there and I see a plane catch on fire, like like right across, and we're like, everyone was there just watching, and we're like, it kind of got quiet, and then the DJ pumped it back up. We just watched, we just watched the fire rescue people put it out.
Hope that's not my plane.
I actually
Shoot.
hope it did. I was having a blast.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, I can stay here a little bit longer.
See, I don't get
But
to
that's a
fly
bunch of
enough.
people on the plane, so that means they have to put you up.
True. Yeah,
It's
I
only
that
if weather. If you get delayed in weather, they don't put you up for free. It's only
dude,
if there's some type of plane.
I did in Dallas though. Check this out. Coming home, I'm sorry, no, Austin, Texas. We were coming home from Miami for 28 when Cena Rock Once in a Lifetime Mania. And we were going from Miami to Dallas to Minneapolis. We were halfway to Dallas before they announced that Dallas was getting like the airport was literally getting hit by like two or three different funnels at a touchdown. So we got rerouted to Austin, Texas, and by the time we got off the plane, there was no more flights back to Minnesota that night. So they actually put us up in a really nice hotel and then gave us like a bunch of food vouchers, which I don't even know where those were good for. We couldn't find anywhere that would take them, but we
I
did
thought
find.
it
I don't know. Well, not in the airport though. Like we weren't in there. We didn't know what they were.
no, not in the airport, but even outside the airport, people take them.
Really? Yeah. No. No one would take them. And then we found a steak place that was just like we told them what happened, and they're like, "From Minnesota? And, yeah, come on
So
in." They're-
I was partying. I was in Vegas, and I ended up staying an extra day, and then flying, and then we got stuck on the tarmac for like 7 hours. I ended up making friends with the lady behind me. She's such a sweet girl, and we ended up getting stuck in I think it was Utah, and they put us up, and we had the food vouchers, and we were like, we had like $100 in like between us, and we are like, sweet. We ordered a bunch of steak, lobster from Outback, and they brought it to the hotel, and kind of just kicked it and had a good old time. But yeah,
yeah, they didn't do that for us. We ended up going to like a Lone Star Steakhouse, and he was just like, "I'll just give you a good discount." So like he did. He gave us like half off on everything that we got, and then brought us like free appetizers. He was like, "Yeah, fuck Minnesota, huh?" We're just like, thanks for the food, guy."
I have wilder stories.
Oh,
You
I
don't.
know you do. I
I have
know you do.
stories of like I can't even say on this podcast.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Going to Nicaragua, getting stuck somewhere, and like ended up meeting this guy, and ended up being like this crazy. Like we ended up getting like stuck somewhere, and we ended up meeting this baller, and we didn't know he was a baller. He was just like, "Oh, you guys go! I'm going to Nicaragua too. I surf." Da da da. And we're like, "Cool!" Like we started calling him pops because at the time I was really young, and this guy was probably like 50, and then I was like 20 something, and we ended up getting stuck somewhere, and we take him out, and we were like, my buddy that I'm with, he's kind of wealthy, so he was like, oh, I'll probably pick up the check for everybody. But then, and like he like kind of tells everybody like ahead, like, hey, I got this, like you guys can order or whatever, just don't take advantage. So we're there, and Pops is this guy, we just call him Pops. He's just like ordering everything. He's like, another round of oysters, another like um bucket of Heineken. And my buddy Reed looks at me and it's like, the guy that was gonna pay for everything, he's like, man, I'm not paying for all this stuff. I was like just expected to like pay for like just like a nice dinner. Like I wasn't expecting to like pay for like this. Like this guy's doing shots, he's doing this, he's doing that, and we're like, huh. And it's like me, my buddy Ian, my two buddy named Ian. So it's OE and then little E. So we have those with us, and the two Australians and my buddy Reed. Danny was not, for some reason, not involved in this trip, which this is a trip that we flipped a car into. So it already started out crazy. But so we're there, and this guy's ordering all this food, all this alcohol, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna get separate checks. Da, da, da. And then he's like, before we could even say anything, he's like, you guys want to go out? And we're like, no, like it's like this is like, what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, and then he's like, well, I already paid for the bill, and I already got a limo out there waiting for us. We're going to the strip club. And we were like, Reed looks at me, he goes, what? He goes, yeah, I went to the bathroom and I just gave the chick my credit card, and then I called a limousine company and had them come pick us up and then take us to the strip club. And then we're just like, my buddy had a tank top and they wouldn't let him in. And Pops wasn't having it. He was like, well, I'll buy one of the staff shirts. Can I do that? And they were like, not really, but sure. He goes, all right, whatever it costs me. And then he gives each of us $400 in ones. And it's like, go have a good time. And then so we end up like, okay, like after that, we're like, we'll meet up at Nicaragua on Thursday. Meet us at like Papoya Mount, like this. There's like a little point that like everyone knows, like it's like crazy restaurant bar, and it overlooks like the ocean. It's on this big old point in Nicaragua, and he's like, okay. Ends up never meeting us. We never even hear from the guy ever again. And like we were just like, whoa, what happened to that guy? Like whatever he like was some like crazy dude and like got all caught. Like, dude, the dude had money. Like he dropped that night. I can't even like he probably dropped like $6 or $7 grand.
Jeez.
Yeah. With like not even
Dang. Oh, that's crazy.
Probably had a limo waiting for us.
Like, that's hilarious.
Like, we were like, what? Yeah, we were like, all right.
Oh, that's funny, dude.
Dude, the worst part was we're the shuttle going to the airport to finally get our connecting flight to go to Nicaragua. And little E looks at everybody, and we're like, no, please don't do it. Please don't do it. And he pukes all on the floor. It's all liquid.
Oh
There's
no!
Like nothing solid. So as the bus stops, you can just see it all just go all the way up to the front, and we were just like, no. The dude was so pissed. We had to tip him like I think like $70.
Oh, so fudge, dude! Yuck. Oh, that's gross, but hilarious. All right, we'll end today's episode on the puking story. Let y'all take that one home with ya. We appreciate it. We enjoy being back. Shows are basically coming out Monday nights, so make sure you check it out on YouTube. Subscribe, share the channel.
Well, let me tell a little bit about the next guest that we're going to have. He has a book coming out. He also has his own podcast. He's an ex club member of the Mongrels, and it's going to be pretty cool to have him. I mean, it's going to be pretty cool to have a club member actually on the ex club member on the show. That's going to be something that's like he's already done some crazy podcast already, so he's getting his name out there. So it's going to be cool to do. I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait. That's going to be next week, so watch for that. Social medias, follow us, the Brisco Big Ace Show. You can also find Wes Brisco on everything social media related, Big Ace as well. Yeah. You got anything this weekend that you need to promote?
Nope, Canada next week, and then it's rocking to St. Louis after that, and then that's a huge weekend. I mean, there's gonna be tons of people there. Ron Salmon, JBL, looks like Haku. I'm actually on the same flight as Haku. Hopefully, we're sitting together. I'm sure he'll make it happen. But yeah, dude, I love me and Haku have a great relationship. Like I consider him family. So it's crazy to have like legends like that you can consider like family.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Really cool. Like for me to be like, oh, I hope I sit next to him, like because it's like we would have like we're like good friends. It's not like me like being like, oh my god, like as a market's like we're actually like really close. So it'd be like, I'm good friends with David and all of his kids. So it's like, I've known them forever. So
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And then if you're in the Midwest area, check it out. Knoxville, Iowa, this Saturday night. Madhouse Wrestling, 7:00 bell time. So that'll be fun. I'll be out there ring announcing. And then Tuesday nights on YouTube and Twitch, the 2 count. Yeah, check it out. Me, Tommy, and JR. I got to show you the videos of Top Shelf Tommy West getting chopped like a mofo from Maddie Starr, Justin Decent, and a youngster down in Iowa. Hilarious.
It was me almost knocking that guy over the merch table.
Very similar. Very decent bout impaled Tommy's chest. It was great. So yeah.
Yeah, but the guy almost went over the table.
Yeah,
it's a Jody's table.
Yeah, you had force on that.
I was trying to knock him onto the ground.
That's hilarious. So yeah, join us next week. We will see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a good week.